the journey is almost over. Lin apologizes to the horseman and says he will treat him well when he has the chance. The horseman understands the situation and tells Lin to go ahead. He'll catch up with his wives after packing up. Lin is grateful and suggests they set off together, but Elizabeth interrupts, urging him to hurry up or she will leave without him. Lin agrees and asks the horseman to gather up ahead and meet later. Seeing this, the horseman's wives are not happy, the cat girl whispers, suggesting they snatch that backpack away, as they might be hiding something even better. The horseman calms down his wives and says, "There's no rush. It's not the right time yet." He also mentions that ordinary people wouldn't casually carry such precious treasures, so she's definitely not a simple princess from a remote tribe. Recently, one of the 4 major powers, the Kingdom of Aristotle, is offering a high reward for information on the missing princess. If he is not mistaken, that princess is right in front of him now. If he can turn the princess into his woman during this opportunity, he can climb the ranks of the Kingdom of Aristotle's power. By then, he'll gain more than just these magical fruits before him. He starts laughing loudly and declares he will conquer Elizabeth and make her one of his harem girls. After seeing the horseman like this, his 4 wives start praising him, saying a charming pheromone is emanating from the master. They blame themselves, stating that they haven't been able to satisfy their master yet. In the depths of the labyrinth, many monsters hide in the shadows. One of them is the Shadow Wolf leader, a powerful monster who suddenly becomes really scared and runs away from there. In the next moment, 3 individuals entered the cave: Elizabeth, Leping, and the little girl Annie. Lin asks Elizabeth about the darkening labyrinth and if there really is an exit. Elizabeth replies, "Didn't I already tell you the labyrinth is just an appearance, and we are almost there?" They start heading deeper into the cave, and from the cave's ceiling, something comes out. Little girl Annie gets really scared when she hears those noises. She tells Lin that something is approaching them. Leping asks Annie to explain clearly, but suddenly, something approaches them at high speed, and smoke covers everyone. When the smoke clears, we see the horseman arriving with his wives. He apologizes for keeping everyone waiting and asks Elizabeth for forgiveness. He also offers to serve Elizabeth for the rest of the way, suggesting that Elizabeth can even sit on his back. However, he doesn't realize that Elizabeth is a self-independent woman. She tells the horseman to get lost, stating that he's not qualified to be her mount. But the elf girl is not really happy. She calls Elizabeth an arrogant woman and asks her not to be shameless when their master gives her face. But in the next moment, that elf girl's head explodes. Everyone gets really surprised. They don't know what happened. Suddenly, some stones fall from above. When Lin turns his head to the ceiling, he sees many insect monsters, dragon fleas, who ate the elf girl's head. One of them jumps from the ceiling and opens its big mouth full of sharp teeth to attack Elizabeth. However, it doesn't know who Elizabeth is. Elizabeth's eyes glow red, and in the next moment, the monster explodes. Little girl Annie gets really scared, thinking that they're done for, and now everyone is going to die. Lin is also scared and runs to Elizabeth, catching her leg, and says it's a matter of life and death. He asks Elizabeth what they are going to do now. When Elizabeth sees what Lin is doing, she thinks Lin wants to test human nature and let the selfish and arrogant ones destroy themselves first. She believes this is Lin's first step to test them. All the dragon flea monsters start attacking with high speed. The warrior girl gets the carriage and transforms it into a shield. The pink-haired girl starts casting the spells Shield Transformation and Shield Blade, creating a shield barrier and getting the horseman and warrior girl inside. After seeing that, Lin asks, "What about us?" The horseman smiles and tells Lin to find a way by themselves, thinking this is a good opportunity to find out the strength of Elizabeth. If she doesn't make a move, her servant and the girl will be eaten by the monsters. The warrior girl arrogantly says, "Who cares about you now? The cooperation is over." The pink-haired girl laughs and tells Lin to just stay outside and be bait. But suddenly, the barrier she created gets destroyed, and her head goes flying. Seeing the pink-haired girl's head flying in the air, the warrior girl gets really scared. Now that the pink-haired girl is killed, the magic barrier she set up disappears, and monsters start attacking the horseman and his 2 remaining wives. On the other side, Lin is still hiding behind Elizabeth. The horseman uses his thunderbolt flash to kill monsters in just one attack. The warrior girl also uses her shield strike and kills the monsters. The cat girl is an assassination type. She uses her short blade technique to kill. But no matter how she kills these monsters, they seem never-ending. If this goes on, they will be exhausted at this rate. When the cat girl rests for a second, suddenly, a monster starts attacking her from above. Luckily, the horseman saves her after using his clapping thunder backstep. But no matter how many monsters they kill, there seems to be no end to this. Elizabeth asks Lin if he sees their true colors. Does he still want to continue this adventure game with them? Leping says, "Forget it. Coming here is to pay back the favor was wrong, and as they say, it's time to part ways." He thinks that the outside world is truly unpredictable, and maybe farming in the village suits him better. Elizabeth smiles because she thought that Lin first makes them swell, then determines if they have any value worth saving. This is his third step. She asks Leping to get ready to go out. Hearing this, Lin asks, "Go out? Is there any way?" She grabs Lin's hand and while pulling him, she tells him that the way is just ahead. But in the next moment, a monster approaches from behind and attacks little girl Annie. Annie gets really scared, and because of that, her normal eyes turn red. Her bunny doll transforms into a giant bunny and kills the monster with a single attack. After killing the monster, it changes back to a normal bunny. Little girl Annie catches it, but she doesn't know what happened just now. But before she can think anything, Lin asks her to come with them. Elizabeth suddenly stops and knocks in the air, and an invisible barrier appears in front. She starts casting a magic spell, and a few seconds later, the magic barrier disappears, and a really giant door comes out. Lin is really surprised to see that the exit is a hidden giant door. The giant door starts opening, and Elizabeth enters, asking Lin and Annie to hurry up and catch up with her. The horseman is staring at Lin, but Lin doesn't give a thought about him. He asks Annie to let's go. After Elizabeth, both of them go through the door. On the other side, the horseman and his wives are fighting with monsters. The horseman asks his wives to hurry up and get on his back. He is really angry and shouts, "Do they think they can shake us off like this?" He starts running to the giant door with full speed. A moment later, they reach the door and enter before it closes. And when they enter, they get really surprised. The room is filled with gold and jewelries. They all were really surprised that they're standing on a flying island filled with treasure. Lin gets really excited seeing all that. He said, "There's so much gold now, we are rich." Little girl Annie is also standing there thinking if they can really take some of it. Suddenly that horseman comes and pushes Lin to the side. His wife pushes little girl Annie as well. The horseman stands in front, and after seeing the treasure, he starts to smile, thinking that the treasure he's been working so hard to get really exists. The treasure he is talking about is the Demon King's nectar. Lin interrupts them and said, "Now that we've found the treasure, we have to share this. We don't ask for your gratitude, so don't be too unreasonable." But the horseman is not happy. He looks back at Lin and replies, "Yes. I didn't expect you all to be so helpful in filling the numbers." He smiles like a demon and says, "As a thank you, I will let you die quickly." However, before the horseman tries to do anything, the gold coins start to fall, and a big yellow eye opens from the gold coins. The whole island starts shaking suddenly, and a big dragon appears in front of everyone. It was the golden dragon, owner of all the treasure. Seeing the dragon, Lin was really surprised. He calls Elizabeth and asks her to look at the dragon. This is the first time Lin has seen a real dragon, but Elizabeth doesn't seem to care. On the other side, little girl Annie's whole body is shaking with fear, and she mentions that there's something more terrifying hidden. Suddenly, her eyes turn black, and she said, "Master, what do we do now?" Seeing little girl Annie like that, Elizabeth gets suspicious, but before she can say something, the golden dragon roars loudly at the horseman and his wives. The warrior girl asks the horseman and cat girl, what should they do since the dragon is really powerful? However, the horseman ignores them, asking them to buy him some time, and let him charge up to kill the dragon with one strike. The cat girl and warrior girl agree, and were about to start attacking the dragon. But the dragon attacks them first. All three of them back down and get ready. The warrior girl asks the cat girl to distract its attention so she can attack properly. The cat girl tells her to leave everything to her. Using her clone technique, she creates 100 clones and starts attacking the dragon. On the other side, the horseman looks at the dragon and smiles. He thinks that now the giant dragon is the only threat, so he doesn't need to hide his power anymore. He decides to call upon all his magic to gather energy for his strongest move, Swift Thunder Flash. He stands and starts gathering all his energy into his sword. His sword starts glowing. On the other side, the cat girl continuously attacks the dragon with her assassination technique. But for some reason, her skills are not working, and she can't get a single scratch on the dragon. Suddenly, the warrior girl, who is also powered up, asks the cat girl to let her handle it now. She uses her skill, Shield Transformation Blaster, and throws her really big shield at the dragon. There are some rockets in that shield which also start to boost the speed of the throw. The shield does not miss and directly hits that golden dragon. The warrior girl is happy, thinking it worked. This is the new move she learned after becoming a 2-star demon spirit. But all her happiness shatters when she sees that the dragon doesn't get any scratches after being hit by a massive shield. Now, it gets really angry at the warrior girl and attacks her with its giant foot. The warrior girl, without her shield, is unable to protect herself. She gets smashed by the dragon's foot, leaving only her smashed body and some blood on the ground. After seeing this horrifying scene, the cat girl gets really mad. She starts using her 1,000-person clone technique. In the next moment, thousands of cat girls come out and start attacking the dragon. The cat girl says, "Although I can't do much damage to you, it should be enough to disturb you." But she misunderstands the dragon. The dragon opens her wings and uses his skill, Golden Hurricane. All the gold coins surrounding him start creating a tornado around him. He uses the gold coins to throw and kill the clans of the cat girl. One by one, all the cat girl's clones start to die. In the next moment, when the dragon gets faster, Lynn and Elizabeth also start getting attacked by these gold coins. Lynn is standing there without doing anything, and those gold coins just fly by him. Elizabeth looks at Lynn and says, "Lynn, you are so calm, but that's to be expected from you." But Elizabeth doesn't know that Lynn is really scared, and he almost died just now. But the dragon doesn't stop and continues his attack. Little girl Annie's eyes again turn black, and she uses her dollhouse release summon technique. Suddenly, a massive bear comes out and stands in front of them to defend. It starts protecting them from the dragon's attack. At the same time, when the horseman is casting his skill, some of the gold coins fly towards him. But the cat girl notices that and jumps to protect her master. She starts defending him with her sword. However, when she thinks everything is fine, a gold coin comes flying and splits her head. Now only the horseman remains. He completed his skill casting and uses his 300% lightning flash technique to attack. He was confident that as this strike, even a demon spirit can't block. He aims at the dragon's neck, but his skill doesn't work, and the dragon is standing unscratched. On the other side, his sword broke into pieces. The horseman was shocked. He doesn't know what happened. While the horseman was worried about his sword, suddenly the dragon attacks him using its tail. The horseman goes flying, and while hitting the treasure mountain, he goes to the other side of that island. This happened because the horseman doesn't realize that the dragon they're fighting is a 4-star level demon sect monster. After dealing with that horseman, now the dragon stands in front of Lynn's group. After seeing the horseman's fight with the dragon, Lynn thought, "Did the centaur die from its tail slap? Looks like I have to use my trump card." So he calls Elizabeth. Elizabeth asks him, what is he going to do next? Lynn, with a serious expression, tells Elizabeth to take action. Elizabeth is surprised, thinking, did Lynn find out already? But she was wrong. Lynn was scared. He tells her to take action. Otherwise, they might die. Elizabeth, with an annoyed expression, tells Lynn not to order her in front of outsiders. She is angry, thinking Lynn wants to use little girl Annie to threaten her. While both of them were talking, suddenly little girl Annie said, "The real terror hasn't come yet. We might never get out of here." Hearing this, something feels off to Elizabeth. She went to little girl Annie and examined her. She immediately realizes that little girl Annie has the bloodline of Jimji. She asks Annie to let her see what her magic is all about. Elizabeth placed her hand on Annie's head, and a purple light surrounded her body. After that, Annie started remembering her past when she was playing and eating with her younger siblings. One day, black robe monsters attacked them, and when they tried to kill Annie and her siblings, Annie suddenly awakened her bloodline power, killing all of them but losing control, and also killing her younger siblings. The trauma of that day did not leave Annie's side, so Annie forcibly suppressed her magic to alter her memory. After finding out this, Elizabeth released her magic and let go of Annie. when Annie falls to the ground and Elizabeth tells little girl Annie how stupid she is and released her magic. Little girl Annie started crying, saying, "It's all my fault, brother and sister. I killed you. I'm sorry." But Elizabeth didn't care. She told Annie that Annie is a disgrace to the Jimji clan's bloodline, and if she wants to escape from the prison of regret and stand up and fight for her. After hearing Elizabeth's words, Annie agreed. She stood up saying, "At least this time I want to protect Brother Leping." She started floating in the sky. Lin was shocked to see her like that. Then Annie used her puppet magic summoning magic skill. Suddenly many big and powerful puppets made of Annie's soft doll appeared. Seeing all those puppets, that golden dragon got angry and started attacking Annie, but her panda puppet blocked the dragon's attack with its fluffy body. Then Panda grabbed the dragon's leg so it couldn't move. On the other side, the rabbit doll started attacking the dragon, striking multiple times in the same spot. Because of those continuous attacks, the golden dragon's hard body starts to break, and the dragon screams in pain. Lin asked Elizabeth what did she do to Annie just now, and how did Annie change so much. Elizabeth told Lin that she did nothing much, just made Annie accept reality. The golden dragon attacked the rabbit again and pushed it to the ground. Annie struggled with the dragon. She commanded her rabbit puppet to grab the dragon's other leg. When the dragon attacked the rabbit, it grabbed its hand. Both the panda and rabbit were preventing the dragon from moving, and little girl Annie commanded her snake puppet to attack the dragon. The snake puppet grabbed the dragon's whole body and started attacking. The dragon used its golden hurricane to counter, but little girl Annie's eagle puppet used its wind magic to stop the dragon's attack. All the coins that were meant to kill start to fly away because of wind magic. Lin was genuinely surprised after seeing Annie's power. He praised that Annie is truly amazing. At the moment, Lin remembers what Elizabeth said before. He asks her what does she mean by Annie having the Jimji bloodline. But before he could finish his words, someone grabbed Lin's bag and snatched it with lightning flash. Because of that, Lin fell on the ground. The one who attacked Lin was the horseman, who was still alive. He got Lin's bag containing magical fruits. Seeing him alive, Elizabeth said, "This scum hasn't died yet." On the other side, Lin, who was robbed of his bag, asks him to give back the bag. But the horseman pays no attention to them. He opens the bag and takes out Lin's fruits, and while laughing like a creep, he says, "Lin, the trump cards of yours, fruits of the realm, are now mine." He starts eating Lin's magical fruits, and one by one, he eats all of them without stopping. Lin doesn't understand and asks him, "What is he doing?" Lin says, "It's already late, and you still want to eat." But after eating Lin's magical fruits, something starts changing in the horseman's body. Purple smoke appears from his body, and his eyes start to shine. He shouts, "Here comes my true power." And suddenly, his body starts to grow. All the armor he was wearing falls one by one, and with that, the horseman transforms into an ugly monster. He is now a Hawthorne Therius, and his level is unknown. He exclaims that, this power that keeps pouring out has awakened unprecedented strength in his body. He starts laughing like a villain. The horseman says that with this power, he is no longer afraid of those old guys from the Sword Saint Guild. Hearing all his trash talk, that golden dragon gets really angry, and before the horseman could complete his words, the golden dragon starts attacking him with its dragon breath. But the horseman dodges the dragon's attack with lightning speed, and suddenly appears in front of the dragon's face. He shouts, "Stop bothering me, you lizard." He prepares his thunder kick and attacks the golden dragon in the face. The golden dragon flies away and falls on the ground with a single blow. After killing the dragon, he heads to the treasure which was placed in the middle, lifting the coffin filled with some kind of liquid. Horseman says, "If I add this, I can't even imagine how strong I will become." He starts drinking it. And that thing's effect immediately starts to show. His eyes turn red and changes start happening in his body. Horns emerge from his head, and wings start to pop out from his back. He evolves into the evil face form. He looks at where Lin and others were and says, "It's worthy of being the Demon King's sweet wine." Now I gradually understood everything. When Lin sees that the horseman is getting weirder and weirder, he asks Elizabeth to hurry up and do something. But little girl Annie, who was standing in front, acts brave and tells Lin not to worry. She says, "I won't let him get close to you, Brother Leping." She starts casting her puppet magic, but before she could complete it, the horseman immediately closes the gap and stabs her with his arm. He kills little girl Annie and says, First, I will eliminate some as a threat. Lin is